Hey guys, welcome to the workbench today. It's time to get started on covering the Kaos 60 from Old School Model Works, and I have been experimenting, as you can see, with this little sample because this is a technique that I've never done before. So I'm going to share with you some of the things that I've learned and a technique that works for me, and welcome for you to try it and refine it in your own way. I know that there's a lot of different things that people do in terms of this technique, and I don't know that there is really any one perfect way. I think that there are just ways that are best for each person that tries it. So what I've done here is just create a frame out of some scrap sticks of balsa. Really, that's all this is. What you really need to do after that is coat the wood that you're going to cover with a pre-treatment. It's essentially glue. The glue that I am going to use is Koverall Balsa-Rite. I've had this stuff for a long time. It still works. There are other things like Sig Stix-It, things like that. So really all it is it's a liquid that you paint on the wood and let it dry. And generally you only need one coat. And after that, it's ready to start covering. So what it does is it soaks into the wood, and it's kind of stinky. It's stinky like the dope stuff. Like everything in dope covering is pretty stinky. Now I will say that my wife is one of those wives that has a super sniffer, and I'm in the basement, and it's pretty big basement. I mean, it's not huge, but it's got pretty good square footage, and the smell during all of this process has never made it upstairs to my wife. So take that for what it will. Some people in the hobby are pretty cautious about smells. So in addition to the materials you're going to need, you need the covering, but I'm also using Sig Koverall. It's pretty readily available, fairly cheap stuff, and it shrinks, which is kind of nice. So because it shrinks, you obviously need your covering iron, preheating right now, by the way, and heat gun. This is just from Harbor Freight, cheap job, just needs to be able to heat stuff. And the last thing that you need is a pair of scissors. And this is just for cutting the coverall. I have a dedicated pair of scissors that are for fabric only. And these are for cutting primarily my fiberglass, my fine 1/2 or 3/4 ounce fiberglass. If I'm cutting the larger stuff, it's going to dull the blade quicker, so I use just a general one. And generally with that fiberglass, you don't need a nice cut anyway. So yeah, these I keep. They're dedicated. I have 2 other pairs of scissors. They're for doing dirty jobs, and they can get glue and all sorts of nasty stuff all over them. So what I'm going to do is just give you some basics of what I've learned, and we'll go on to more difficult things as well. But the really challenging stuff I'll cover in a separate video. So we're just going to start with the rudder here. This is just the rudder. As you can see, the wood has all been finished. I've put a little bit of filler on the seams just to smooth things out. And I've beveled my leading edge of the rudder as well as rounded out all of the edges. In addition, I have already treated it with my Balsa-Rite and just used a brush, brushed it on, and one coat, and cleaned up the brush in acetone. So next thing we need to do is we need to cut out a piece of covering, and just needs to be large enough. I have a bit of overage. You don't have to go crazy with the overage, but do have a little piece of overage, and then we're going to obviously tack it in place around the edges, and then we'll start playing with the heat gun. So, all right, so just to get things started off here, I'm just unfolding the large piece of fabric that I've ordered, and then I remember, oh yeah, I cut a piece out of this before previously, so I'm hunting through all of this fabric to find where that little square is. Ah, there it is. Got it. So then it's just a matter of cutting a piece large enough for your overage. I didn't go crazy with my overage. I play it pretty conservative. Some may call it cheap. I say frugal. It's really up to you what you want to call it. All right, so now just a spoiler. I'm going to also cover the elevator in this episode, so I'm just cutting out a little piece here. Now notice that I've cut out a piece that's going to cover it long ways, but also note I'm being really particular in wrapping everything up to keep it neat and organized so it doesn't get dirty. But yeah, here's the general idea for the covering for the elevator. So first up is one side of the rudder, and as you can see, it's really quite straightforward. It's very similar to other covering techniques. Really what you want to focus on is getting the material as taut as you possibly can. When it comes to corners like this, it's kind of hard to see here, but you'll see it in other clips. When you get to these round corners, you can stretch it with the heat gun. Just heat it up a little bit like this, and then it sort of sticks and it melts a little bit, and then you could hit it with the covering iron to finalize it in place. It doesn't take much. I'm on a pretty low heat setting, like 250, 280 degrees on this iron, and you just take your time and do it one little bit at a time, and what you're left with is something covered. Trimming the excess is pretty straightforward. Just trim as close as you can with a pretty clean and sharp set of shears or razor blade, I suppose, but you want to try to prevent anything from fraying. This is fabric after all. And then you just sort of hit those edges again, finalizing the edge with the sealing iron. Right, next up is time to get out your balsa coverite or your balsa right, whatever. You have to go over top of these edges because the glue isn't there for the next layer, and you have to do an overlap. So it's just a little bit, goes around the edges, and I'm using a small brush here, nothing big. And be careful of drips because that can get messy and give you a little bit of the bubbling effect under the covering. And as you can see, after cleanup and everything, this is all ready to go. All right, so the last part here is really rushing through everything that we've covered already. It's exactly the same, it's just on the other side. So a little bit faster through here, but I will say that you do have to be a little bit more careful on this covering technique as opposed to a film covering. Definitely need to keep your material as taut as you possibly can. It does shrink, but to a limited extent. Okay, so now with it all covered and sealed, we're hitting this with the heat gun, and this is going to help uniformly shrink everything. You can hit it with a covering iron, but it's not going to be as uniform. So I definitely recommend the heat gun if you can absolutely get it. All right, so this is what I would call more difficult. I wouldn't say that this is tremendously more difficult, but moving on to the elevator portion, you're dealing with open spaces. And what that means, you absolutely have to have wrinkles as clean and crisp and removed as possible. So here you can see we're going over these rounded corners, and I'm using a little bit different technique here with the covering iron rather than a heat gun because there's not as much material and I don't want to melt my fingers. So be mindful that the little bit of overage, while you can be cheap, you can also melt yourself too. So yeah, you just have to go through this methodically and think ahead. And here, trim off the excess because it's more difficult to work with, and just work through each little part carefully. The errors they're harder to correct using this material. I think it goes without saying. And I think that's why people moved away from this technique, is because it was just easier to use a film covering. So you're trimming off your excess just the same as you would any other panel, and trying to make sure that you're covering everything up again. And then we're gonna go through, and then we're gonna put more of the glue on, the balsa-rite, and fold it over, and then trim everything off, and then do all of this over again, much the same as we did on the rudder. All right, for this clip, I wanted to slow things down a little bit. I wanted to zoom in too, so that you can try to look at the subtle amount of shrinking that's going on here with the heat gun. So try to notice that, yeah, there's a little bit of fraying. I'll address that later, but this is really what it's about, is going over these openings so that everything is nice and smooth. There's no wrinkles, there's no little divots or anything in it too. So take your time, be careful, and be mindful that some of this can be redone and repaired. Look at this little wrinkle I'm trying to address there, and smooth it out with your finger, and then hit it with a little higher heat and it goes away. There's little things like this, so pay attention as you go through and do your shrinking. So that's really it. We're going to get to the very end of this, but covering is just the start. And so we've covered a very basic piece and how to cover it. This is ready for dope, and that's pretty great. One thing I will say about this is it's pretty resilient. It's pretty resilient stuff. I'm dropping a screwdriver on that, and it's pretty tough. Better than any film that I've ever used, certainly. So that is something to be said. Very lightweight stuff, and the only thing left that we have to do is apply the dope and apply the paint, and that's all that this is. Is the same covering, dope applied, and then paint applied. Again, very, very strong, very resilient. So, thank you so much for stopping by the bench today. I've got to get ready to go do some other things, but until next time, make sure you're going over to dubro.com and using my code Josh10 at checkout for 10% off. Building season is coming, and I know that there are a lot of you guys out there watching that need some parts, so head on over to Dubro with your shopping list and get your goodies. And until next time, I'm going to keep working on this flying work of art.